Hi, welcome to the WTAMU Virtual Math Lab. This video will step you through College Algebra Tutorial 22, Example 8. In this example, we want to solve the inequality 4x plus 1 all over 2 is greater than or equal to x over 3 minus 2. Write our answer in interval notation and graph the solution set. Note that we solve linear inequalities in the same way that we do linear equations. We want to get our variable on one side and everything else on the other side by using inverse operations. In this problem, it looks like we have several things we need to do to solve this. In step 1, we want to simplify each side if needed. We can clear the fractions by multiplying both sides by the least common denominator, or LCD, of 6. When we multiply both sides by that LCD of 6, we get 6 times the quantity 4x plus 1 all over 2 is greater than or equal to 6 times the quantity x over 3 minus 2. This will simplify to be 3 times the quantity 4x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 2x minus 12. Applying the distributive property, we get 12x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 2x minus 12. In step 2, we want to use the addition-subtraction properties of inequalities to move the variable term on one side and all other terms to the other side. When we add or subtract the same thing to both sides of an inequality, the inequality does not change. The inverse of adding 2x is to subtract 2x from both sides. This will give us 12x plus 3 minus 2x is greater than or equal to 2x minus 12 minus 2x, which simplifies to be 10x plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 12. The inverse of adding 3 is to subtract 3 from both sides, which will give us 10x plus 3 minus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 12 minus 3, which simplifies to be 10x is greater than or equal to negative 15. In step 3, we want to use the multiplication or division property for inequality. A reminder that if we are multiplying or dividing both sides of the inequality by a negative number, the inequality needs to change. If we are multiplying or dividing both sides by a positive value, the inequality stays the same. The inverse of multiplying by 10 is to divide both sides by 10. So we will get 10x over 10. And since we are dividing both sides by a positive number, we get the same inequality of greater than or equal to a negative 15 over 10, which simplifies to be x is greater than or equal to a negative 3/2. Next, let's write this in interval notation. The answer to this inequality is a closed interval because we are including the endpoint where x is equal to a negative 3/2. Since we're including where x equals a negative 3/2, we will have a boxed end with a negative 3/2, and note that anytime we have an infinity or negative infinity in interval notation, we always use a curved end on that end. So the final answer for the interval notation will be a bracket with negative 3/2, comma, infinity with a curved end to give us a closed interval of negative 3/2 to infinity. Last, we need to graph this. The graph will look like the interval notation. We will have a bracket at negative 3/2, and to show everything greater than negative 3/2, we will shade in everything to the right of negative 3/2 for our final answer for the graph.